followed by violent relationships. And with me here in studio is Benjamin Zulu, who is a clinical psychologist as well as a lawyer. Benjamin, let's talk about the legal framework. Are there legal frameworks around this?
Yes, of course, we have legal framework. In law, it's a crime even to try to kill anyone, to attempt to kill anyone, homicide, or even to kill yourself. But when people, you realize that we don't usually prosecute it a lot. It's not followed up. You hear people attempted suicide and they were not arrested. But what I would like to enlighten our viewers is that the funny thing with the law and psychology is law tries to fix the blame to apportion liability. But psychology tries to fix the problem. I encourage that if you realize that you are in danger, don't just ask, where can I, the best thing to do is report. Report. Don't wait for it to happen. There will be no problem if you walk to a police station and say, I think so-and-so might be thinking to do something drastic. And I want to remind people that don't say it doesn't concern me if he kills himself. Most people who would kill themselves can also kill anyone, have lost value for life. So if I notice that my friend, and one thing, the best response to suicide is to learn the signs. A person who was suddenly withdraws and they were very social, or they have said repeatedly, this life has lost meaning. They don't usually use the word suicide. They may not use that word sometimes. They just begin to continually lose meaning for life. And like in campus, you remember last year we had notorious cases, one after KU to this university, to the other. Students were killing themselves. In the university, most of them were attributed to the three major factors, especially the problem with the relationships, and then the drugs, and then the depression, of course. Right. But depression, remember, is not itself the cause, it's a symptom. Depression is a cause of something else. It's a result of something else. It could be a depressive in campus. Remember, most of them are between 20 and 24. And that age, passions are high and wisdom is more. And then they are alone there. In the university, no parents. They are alone. And some of them, they have just acquired social autonomy. They don't think about law. They don't think about police station. It's about relationships. So the legal framework can help us when you can report in advance. And if you've been somebody, for example, this lady was, that way by husband. That husband, one, the criminal liability is there. Then we also have the other one called civil. Even after a person has been sentenced, the case is usually not over. If they caused you injuries and harm and you know they're able to pay, you go now, you pursue the civil case. You asking for compensation. Civil is where you're asking for compensation. They've been sentenced, but the civil case, you still can pursue it separately. Okay? And then the other thing is, with the families, the matters are so emotive. I'm specializing in arbitration. That's why I'm combining law and psychology. Arbitration is when you don't go to court, you apply the law outside the court. It's called arbitration. There's mediation, and usually acknowledged by it's a whole regime where you can solve family issues outside the court. Some people fear the court because they say, I don't want that publicity, that emotional and all that. You can still find lawyers who can help you solve the matter outside the court. So if you're seated there and somebody hurt my child, somebody hurt and I'm here, like this mother is saying, how will I bring up the two children? If this husband, maybe I don't know that it was official, some are not even official marriage. I've had people who are killed by boyfriends. The family of the girl can now sue the boyfriend for compensation, even after you have been sentenced. That's criminal liability. The state takes care of criminal liability, offenses against society. But now personal offenses are civil. You go now, you sue for compensation.
Of your loved one.
Because of the loss.
Okay.
Yes, because of the loss.
Andrew, on Twitter, you say, health mental diets are recipes for greatness. I believe emotional intelligence is omnipotent in fashioning positivity. So Andrew's comment, first of all, thank you so much, leads me to my next question, Benjamin.
Yes.
And that is, what can we do as friends and family? If I know my father, my child, my boyfriend, my friend, my colleague has signs of suicide, what can I do? Because I'm sure the last thing is that you don't want to portray a warrior attitude towards them. Correct. So what can we do? That guy called Edwin, he has researched on 10 commonalities to suicidal minds. And you have hinted at it, and Edwin, that guy, Andrew, yes.
Our Andrew,
yes.
Has mentioned it. Thank you very much, Andrew. Emotional intelligence. The one common of all suicidal people is ambivalence. Ambivalence meaning they want to kill themselves, and at the same time they want to be helped. So I tell my viewers from today to assume and to know this, that suicide, for those people who are thinking about it, they're looking for a solution. Death is not the point. They think death is a safe place. They think it is better, it's more peaceful, that side of death. And you know, those of us who have never died only see dead people and they look still. We think death is peaceful because the dead person doesn't seem to be in torment. What we need to remind people is there is no point in killing yourself before your time. Anyway, we're all going to die. I would rather do the best here and then when I talk to people who are thinking of killing themselves, I realize they're looking for cessation of consciousness, to stop hearing this, because there's something they're going through that is causing immense depression. Another thing about depression, he has mentioned, Andrew, about emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence about that awareness, understanding of your emotional life and the emotional life of another person. What you can do, one, is talk to them when you can. The other thing is, sometimes they act like nobody can do anything, I've resolved, I'll kill myself. We have several stages of, if they are still at ideation, they're still talking about the idea. They are not, there's another stage called somebody has planned, they have a plan. And then the other thing is, now they can execute it. If they say, I'll kill myself, but they don't have a rope or a weapon or poison they have acquired, usually men use hard methods. Men try suicides about 25 times as much as the women.
Wow.
Okay? Women try 3 times as much as men, but in completing the suicide, men complete 4 times more because they use lethal methods. They hang, they shoot, they use methods that have minimal chances of survival. Ladies cut their wrists or they swallow some things and they can be rescued. Those methods can be rescued. What happens is, if you realize they have now the rope, of the weapon is ready, that person is very close to doing it.
All right.
Yes.
So, Benjamin, we have Isaac Amatzia on call.
Yes.
He is calling in from Kakamega. Isaac, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into Weekend Express. Your thoughts, any questions that you have in regards to our conversation this morning, Isaac? Okay, so Isaac from Kakamega is joining us by way of phone. Isaac, thank you so much for being part of this conversation from wherever you're calling us from. Could be your living room. Are your thoughts, your comments on this morning's conversation?
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Okay, so, okay, I can speak in Swahili.
Yes, yes, you can definitely speak in Kiswahili.
Okay, niko na shida fulani hata mimi. Hello?
Yes, endelea.
Niko na shida fulani hata mimi. Kuna msichana nilioa. Huyu msichana alindanganya ana watoto. Akandanganya ana watoto. Sasa wakati ambao nilikuja kugundua ya kwamba ako na watoto 2 watatu. Kujaribu kumwelezea kujaribu kuja kumuuliza, watoto walikuja kwangu kwanza, nikakaa akaniambia watoto ni wa sister yake wala nini na nini. Sasa kuja kundua kwamba baadaye watoto ni wake. Watoto ni wake.
Endelea.
Sasa kumwambia nataka kujua mwenye watoto, akaniambia mwenye watoto huyo mtu alikuwa naye urafiki na wakatoka wakaachana kitambo wakaenda. So sasa hata kwenda kwa aidi. Kuna wakati nikamwambia nataka nikupatie pesa wote kwako kwenye kidogo. Hataki hata kwenda hata kidogo. Sasa naweza fanyaje?
Haya. Benjamin, your thoughts on that? So, if I understand what Isaac is saying, Isaac really liked this one lady.
Yes.
Isaac didn't know alikuwa na watoto.
Yes.
The lady brings them over. So I'm sure it's maybe something that could
be causing
trouble within even the relationship.
Yes. Isaac, sorry about that. And he is talking on behalf of many people.
Right.
He is talking about deception. I was deceived. I loved you. I thought you were alone. But you hid something from me. On the side of the ladies, he would tell you, if I told him, maybe he would leave. And I wanted him. But children, you can't hide them. They're growing, they're people, I think for Isaac, if I want to ask him, first of all, Isaac, we might not give you comprehensive counseling on air. My best advice when I find people disturbed like this is find counseling, find therapy, find help. And I'm so happy it's a man who has called.
And there's nothing wrong with finding therapy.
That's
really.
all good. Personally, that's why I went to therapy, to help men know that this is the best way to solve problems. So one, Isaac has several options. One, trust? I think he's asking probably men talk, if you can deceive me like this, can I trust you even on other issues? But you might find that the way he has lived with her, he has come to know maybe she's a good person. She was just caught in a situation. So Isaac has these choices. If you can still trust your woman, man, and you have invested the time, even if you part ways, you'll not recover the time, and you may not find another person.
And would it even be better if Isaac and his lady both went for therapy?
That's even better.
And counseling, it's even better.
Very good. That's even better, because you might find that they can forge bigger understanding going forward. Another thing, these children, they're human beings and they need a man in their life. They need a father in their life.
A father figure, right.
Isaac has a chance now to be the hero in these children's life, because they will live to say he was not only not our father, he even didn't know that we existed, but he loved us. So Isaac has a chance here to champion something that many people don't have an opportunity to champion. Another way would be if the lady herself if I was seated with her in therapy, I would tell her, where are you standing? You are standing at a place where a person says you deceived me. Do you want moving forward where they feel like they should revenge, or they should move away, or do you want to make things right by just admitting and saying you're sorry and you just caught up and all that? Would you want to admit and reconcile? So I ask them, seek counseling, consider reconciliation, but stand where you are and look at the options you have. Maybe wake up and quit the relationship. What are your options there? And repair it and move forward. Because so far time is gone and you can't repair that time. But even you have also time ahead of you. So for me, first of all, don't stop here, Isaac. Come to our office or call us. Come we talk. Right. There are options there. Yeah.
All right, Isaac, you've had. You can call, because Isaac is in Kakamega. He can call the call center line.
Or even therapists in Kakamega. I'm sure they are there.
Definitely. Yeah. So that number is 0900 620 800.
Yeah.
Remember the incident that happened earlier December back in 2017, where a mentally challenged person had access to a gun and shot a nurse dead. Let's talk about the access of guns in Kenya.
Correct.
And even from a legal point of view.
Yes.
You can't just walk in and order for a gun. I'm sure they must screen you and assess you. Because how did that one patient get access to a gun and end up killing a nurse who was just doing his job? Right.
It was unfortunate, by the way. There was definitely there was negligence. Somebody did not do what they're supposed to do. Before you're licensed to own a gun, you'll be assessed your capability and also the need for you to have it. And then they also, this man might not have been, quote unquote, mentally challenged. He just had a condition. There are people, many here, Zinzi, who live with the conditions. People who have schizophrenia, but they are on medication. You never know. Some have psychosis, but they're on medication. They're functioning normally. But because they take medication, if they don't take medication, or there's another intervening condition, they get now the disturbance comes and the symptoms show up. Those symptoms could be aggression, they can hurt someone. Another thing was, so he was not, we don't say he was disqualified, he was not qualified to own arms. That is one side of argument. The problem was to allow him to go to the treatment room with arms. Usually people leave everything on the reception, okay, the arms and all that, because where they are going is just treatment, okay? Another thing is, when people are given arms, they're supposed to be assessed periodically after some years. Are they still qualified? You know, you renew. You're not given a lifetime license. You renew the license. While you are renewing, they assess again. Are you still qualified? Yes.
We'll come back to this gun conversation in just a minute. Hilary Kemboy is calling us from Nandi. Hilary, good morning. Thank you so much for calling in this morning. Your contribution to this conversation.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Good morning. Go ahead. Hilary, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kwanza,
yeah.
Reduce volume ya TV kidogo ndio tukusikie vizuri.
Okay.
Alafu,
yeah.
Tell me what is on your mind.
Yeah, you know, nini mko nayo ni nzuri sana. Alafu, kuna wakati sisi kama ni daktari ama ni psychologist, vile ameongea. Hello?
Nakusikia.
Yeah. Sasa ametaja kitu kama wakati umeona mtu ako na depression, at least nimeshapata watu kama hawa, lakini ukiripoti kwa polisi wachukulii kwa maanani sana. Unaona? Tena kuna wakati mwingine kuna vitu kama family issues vile huyu ameongea huyo mwingine. Alafu unakuta watu wengine wakati wangeongea wamalize, tuseme kama familia, watu wanawachilia watu kabisa completely, kama watu kama vitu ya mashamba ama nini. Ndio sasa wakati watu wanataka kumaliziwa maneno, watu wanawachiliwa tu hivyo, ndio wanakuwa depressed, ndio mtu anaamua. Sasa sijui mtafanyaje kwa wakati kama kuna kitu imetokelezea kwa police station, at least hao polisi wafuatilie kabisa, wahakikishe kwamba watu wamekaa mzuri.
Hi, Tisana Hillary. Hillary has a good point. You go to the police station, you report it, and nothing happens.
That's true. He has hinted at what I had mentioned at arbitration, alternative dispute resolution. We call them in law ADR. One, you can use the legal channels. The legal channels, you report to the chief, or you report to the police, you report to the legal channels that are around you. But if you say it's sensitive family matters, you can go to an arbitrator. Arbitrators are those people mandated by law to help you settle disputes, especially if there's a sensitivity. You don't see corporate companies going to court every day because it will give them negative publicity. But they do have disputes with contracts and all that. Where do they solve them? In arbitration. In alternative disputes, we have registered arbitrators. So I ask people like Hillary, if you have sensitive issues that you don't want to take to police or you don't want to take to chief, approach even a lawyer, whoever you know, tell them, do you know a mediator, an arbitrator? Those are the way we still want to remain in talking terms, because sometimes after you go to court, the relationship dwindles, you don't talk after that.
Right.
Yeah, so let them go to alternative dispute resolution, or you can still find police people who you can, after you explain, they can still assist you on your situation. Yeah.
Benjamin, we have another caller.
Correct.
Rofas Mtunga rather, from Kangudu. Good morning, Rofas. Thank you so much for calling in this morning. What is your contribution for the conversation? Any comment, any questions?
Kuuliza Benjamin. Amesema suicide watu wanacommit. In Kenya there are more than 7,000. Sasa ushauri wake ametoa, amesema watu kama wamekosana waende polisi ama waende kwa church leaders ili wapate ushauri. Sasa mimi huku kwetu watu wanaogopa sana kwenda kwa police station kwa sababu these people, they think when they go to the police station or to analyze their problems, they may be negatively heard by the administration. So they take a chance of just committing the suicide. But it is not, to my view, that is not good to the people who commit suicide.
So you see, Rofas and Hillary have the same issue here. So Rofas is saying people in Kangundu can't go to the police station because the police react negatively.
Is he reacting to suicidal people or family conflict?
To suicidal people.
Thank you. I think we can now take a chance to clarify that. Suicidal people don't need law, first of all. They need relationship. They need love. So what you do is you go to a person who can relate. In our community like Kangundo, I'm sure they know a person who can talk to this person, maybe a pastor or a person who can talk to them, or even a relative. A person, hey, I noticed it. Yes, you have something?
Yes, so what if I go to the police station and I tell them my husband is suicidal?
Yes.
The police end up laughing at me, mocking me.
That's it.
So leave alone the suicide person going, the victim going to the police.
Yes.
I, as a family or as a friend, I go tell them, I know so-and-so who is suicidal.
Correct.
But then the police laugh at me.
By the way, we need to correct this. Police are not there to counsel. They are there to enforce law. So we are saying, if you realize what this person needs is help, not legal help, but social help, emotional help. Go to a person who gives emotional help. Who are those counselors, therapists? Who are those pastors? Who are those, a person you know who can hear them out? You don't, like, if I notice, personally I've noticed people, I could tell this person is heading the wrong direction. They even behaving suicidal. I call a person, hey, so-and-so, do you know so? Please, would you, and they do a talk, they realize, by the way, you were right. That person was depressed over something, maybe a breakup.
So instead of going to police, you'd advise people to go straight to psychology, because police only will probably handle the legal issue.
If there's something on law, go to police. But if what these people need is help, understanding. Police are not trained on that.
Especially if it hasn't gone to a crime scene level.
Yes, if it's not crime scene, sometimes it's both. But most of the time, what you want to rescue, first of all, is the life.
Right.
You want to rescue the life. Person drinking themselves to death or anything, get a psychologist. We have call centers now where you can, even at night, you notice a neighbor who has been unusually quiet, you just call. I think this, like that. Would you please help? And some of these call centers, there's a way we can help even immediately. Like in our call center, we do help people immediately. At that time, we have maybe connection to where we need rescue. There are some companies that conduct rescue. We can do rescue. Or we give people advice that can, when people are in that situation, they are constricted. Their thinking is black and white. There are some 3 I's of suicide. Somebody thinks this situation is inescapable. Inescapable, that's the first I. The other one is intolerable. I can't stand it. And the other one is interminable. It will never end. So when we talk to them, we just challenge one of the I. Is this situation really interminable? Is it forever? We challenge, is it intolerable? You say you can't stand it. Is it inescapable? Can't you escape? After you show them one way of escaping, they say, oh yeah, by the way, I don't have to die. So to Hillary and our friend is, what you do is, you don't take a person who is depressed to police. They don't deal with depression. You only take matters that need law intervention or protection to police. When this person needs intervention or psychological, get psychological help. Come to our offices in Upper Hill. We have many counselors, even in Kanguno, I'm sure in that Tala or some place. You find a therapist too. You can tell, guess what? I noticed so-and-so has been unusually this. What can I do? You don't bring the person, just consult. And they'll give you solutions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Benjamin, you've really helped shed light on this conversation.
Welcome.
Closing remarks, your thoughts. What would you like to tell the nation?
I want to tell the people that the psychological problems, nobody needs to die on psychological. Nobody needs to die of depression. Nobody needs to die of desperation. Nobody needs to die on that. But because some of them are not aware, let's all unite and help. What is the first response? Report. Tell a person who you know. You're not disclosing them. You're not like exposing them. You're just looking for help for them. So nobody needs to die in depression. Seek help from therapists, from psychologists, and if there is legal issues involved, also get alternative dispute resolution, get arbitrators, get help. And if it's a person who you're not related to, but you want to help them, just report, and that person could be saved.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Benjamin Zulu, thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Benjamin Zulu, a lawyer as well as a clinical psychologist, helping us drive this conversation of suicide here in Kenya, a conversation that we are having as a nation. But away from that, just a bit more of international news at this hour. While most of the whole world has marked New Year's, Algeria Berbers marked their New Year as a public holiday on Friday with